Now the first two verses read, "That's my last Duchess, painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive." It's very casual. Now he's addressing someone, "Come have a look." On the wall is a painting, and the painting is of my last Duchess. Last Duchess, my ex-wife, my late wife, one who has passed away. That's the painting of hers. That's the picture of hers. And look how lively she looks, as if she was alive. Now this statement, "as if she was alive," gives us abundant clues that he's talking about his deceased wife, one who is no more alive, one who is dead. I call that piece a wonder. She's beautiful. Not his wife, but her painting. Frau Pandolf's hands work busily a day, and there she stands. Frau Pandolf is a fictional character, and he says he worked for a whole day. He worked hard on this painting, and there she stands. There, not my wife, but the painting of my wife. There stands the painting, and it's a wonderful piece of art. It's a beautiful piece of art. Will it please you sit and look at her? Now he is again addressing someone. The addresser is unknown, and he says, "Can you sit down here and have a look at this beautiful portrait? At the portrait of my last Duchess?" I said, "Frau Pandolf by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured continents." He says that it's not like that Frau Pandolf had the chance every time to come and have a look at my wife, like you are doing right now, sitting here and watching the portrait of this wife of mine. Here, he is giving a reference to the Victorian morality that we had, where females were not allowed to move freely, and man actually exerted a lot of influence in controlling the life of their wives or the life of the females. And here is one such instance where he says that even though Frau Pandolf had made a beautiful image or picture or painting of my Duchess, of my last Duchess, but it doesn't mean that he had a free go to watch or to see my wife and then paint her like this. But what it was, he says, "the depth and passion of its earnest glance, but to myself they turn. It was all because of my will." This beautiful glance that you see, that Frau Pandolf has created now, has painted now, it was all because of my will. I asked him to do so. I allowed him to do this. And here you have, "Since none puts by that curtain I have drawn for you, but I." Now that clarifies what he wants to say, that the curtains that I have taken up for you to see the portrait, I am in command of it. If I wish, I draw the curtain, and if I wish, I do not allow anyone to have a look at this portrait. Now again, this is the amount of the power or influence or control that Victorian men would have over the female. "And seemed as they would ask me, if they durst, how such a glance came there, and whomsoever did I allow to come and have a look at this portrait, and if they durst, and if they dare, they would ask me the reason of this glow, the reason of such glance of her eyes as she's looking at someone. How did it come there? And if they dare, they ask me. So not the first are you to turn and ask thus, sir. And if you will ask me this question, that how is this countenance there? How is such a glance there in the portrait? You won't be the first person to ask me this question about my wife. There have been many before who have asked this question to me. Sir, it was not her husband's presence only. So let me clarify that my wife was not of a good character. That's what he's telling here. It was not only the husband's presence that made her feel so lively, so charming, and she would not smile only at the presence of her husband. Caught that spot of joy into Duchess's cheek. Perhaps Fra Pandolf chance to say. He wanted to say this, that this beautiful spot, a beautiful painting, a beautiful glance, a cheek that I have made here, it wasn't all because of the presence of her husband. It had more than that with it. Her mental lapse over my lady's is too much. Our pet must never hope to reproduce the faint half blush that dies along her throat. And all that you see there in the picture is not only the mastery of the painter or the paint, it's not reproduced by all these things. I think it has a lot to do with the nature of the person of whose portrait is being created. And if there is something in that, that would be reflected in the painting. And if something is absent, you cannot reproduce it in the painting. So what you are actually seeing in this portrait is all related to the last Duchess. She had all these characteristics in her. Now next he says, such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. And she thought that being among many men and having a glance on them and being happy in their company was something that she thought was courtesy, was good. And she thought the cause enough for calling up that joy of spot. And she thought that it was all sufficient to feel happy, to feel, smiling, to feel like blushed or, lively, active. That is what she thought. She had a heart. How shall I say? Now, what will I say about her heart? What kind of heart she had? But it was a heart too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. It was a heart which was not consistent. It was a heart which was not, strong. It was something which was, easily impressed. And she liked anything and everything she looked upon. And the trouble was that she looked everywhere. Now this phrase gives us more in-depth information about the Duchess. But the problem with the poem is that whosoever the speaker is, he is giving his opinions about a second person, and we have got no first-hand information of the Duchess. So whatever we will be having, the account would be second person or third person narrative